More on the typhoon is Victor Gao. Welcome to the broadcast. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
As you know, this typhoon slammed into Zhejiang province, and Shanghai has been watching it very closely. Can you tell us more about the measures that have been put in place and if they were effective?
Well, in China, every summer around this time, we have the season of the typhoons, and mostly it will hit the coastal areas. But then for any particular typhoon, the exact landing place varies from one typhoon to another. And this time, unfortunately, it hits the coastal area in Zhejiang and Shanghai region, which are highly developed and a highly population dense region in China. And I would say that while we need to be very careful about how to deal with the typhoon and the consequences of the typhoon, China over the years has already developed a very much experience and track record in dealing with the typhoon. And the most important thing is not to be caught off guard by exactly where the typhoon will land. And therefore, the weather stations and the authorities would have a very important role to play. In this time, I think people and the authorities in Zhejiang and Shanghai area are very well experienced in dealing with the typhoon. The physical, the material losses eventually, and fortunately up to now there is no report about loss of life, need to be taken care of very carefully. But I would say in China, we are well positioned in dealing with this very big scale typhoon this time.
I see. So you feel like the preemptive measures they put in place were effective at this point, Victor?
I'm pretty sure. I actually was born very close to Shanghai, and my father, during his working days, was a local official, also partially in charge of dealing with the effects of the typhoon every summer around this time. So this typhoon brings back to me all the memories of the good things that may happen in the typhoon when we see heroes emerging out of the crowds in dealing with the effects of the typhoon, and also the great losses we may suffer. I would say, as I said just now, China in Shanghai, in Zhejiang province, all the authorities and all the people have the good experience of dealing with that. So no reason for extra alarm this time.
We know right now that the damage is around $2 billion, or 2 billion yuan, or $300 million, I should say, just in Zhejiang province. Can this area recover? How will they recover, Victor?
Well, normally, depending on the intensity of the typhoon and also the location of its landing, sometimes the damage and the losses of property and materials, buildings, etc., can be huge, mainly because sometimes the intensity is so huge, and also the areas affected can also be large. It's like a cyclone in the United States, for example. And I would say that on the one hand, people, companies, institutions along the coastal region where typhoon tend to hit have insurances, and the government agencies also have extra budget prepared for dealing with the effects of typhoon. And also I would say in China, the local governments are very well prepared, and there has been very well defined the process and the procedures to mobilize the people, to evacuate the people, and once damages have been sustained, as to how to compensate the people and also to make sure that the losses can be made up in a timely manner and normal life and the working schedule can be resumed. So I would say while it is very unfortunate that huge losses have been sustained, on the other hand, I think we are very confident that the recovery can be happening very soon.